Actually, when you chose the topic family constellation, I had a little bit of trouble wrapping the whole thing, wrapping my head around it. And the only reason is it's a completely practical subject. I don't know if some of my clients who have gone through the session are here or not, but it's a totally practical subject. But I'll try to explain because there is theory around it. But, it's like if I tell you how to swim and then you actually get into an ocean and swim, they're two different things, right? But I'll try. So to first come to the topic, I need to give a background about what causes our challenges, right? So because for me to be able to explain family constellation and how the mechanics of this work actually works, we need to understand, first of all, how do we create our challenges? What happens is that there actually in life, there's never an absolute truth. There are always three or more versions to a story. So it is my version, it is your version, and it is the actual version. It's like when we look at, if we are standing opposite each other and we're looking at number 9, I'm looking at number 9, but for you it's number 6, right? Now, only a person looking from up can explain this, but we can forever stand and argue with each other that this is the 9 and you will say, no, it's a 6. So so basically it is our perception. What I'm trying to say is that it is our perception that creates the reality we want to witness. Now, most people believe that it is because of my environment. It can be an environment based on a certain belief system. It can be an environment based on, a family setup, conditioning, or it can be really a challenging environment. Because of that, I am going through certain, problems in life, or I am having some issues and challenges. However, this is absolutely the opposite of truth. It is our belief system and our conditioning and who we are that creates our environment. Now, everything in the universe is being created to help us to grow. So, everything and anything, good, bad, ugly, is actually conducive to our growth. Because the aim of the universe is for us to evolve and become a better version of ourselves. And we need to learn how to do that gracefully. We can keep beating ourselves up and go through challenges because in life challenges are never going to stop. This is the nature of life. You're going to have up, down, up, down. It's never a linear line. If it becomes linear, we would be dead. As a doctor, you know that, right? So life has to have its own graph. So now what happens is the aim of the universe is to teach us to overcome this because we have an immense potential as the human consciousness to be walking gods on earth. But walking God means we also need to act like God, which means we need to be kind, compassionate, all aware, understanding, put ourselves in the other shoes. When we say we would be walking God, everyone thinks, oh, okay, now I'm going to be God and I will rule the whole world. No. What we are trying to say is walking God means you allow everyone to be, because that's how God is allowing us to live, allowing us to make choices. Even if sitting up there, the universe, the source, the God, whoever you want to call it, knows that this is not a good choice for the soul, but it allows us to go through the experience. So walking God means we come to that level of awareness and compassion and kindness that we allow people to go through their experiences. Okay. So now what happens is, where the challenge comes is that the belief that I'm a victim of my circumstances and whatever is happening to me is happening to me because either God is not listening or my family is not good enough or my stars are not okay. So we start with the whole story of victimization. And then now from there, the law of attraction and the law of cause and effect come into play and make sure you keep re-experiencing your belief till the time you can overcome that belief. The moment you overcome a belief and you learn your lesson, you have evolved to another level of consciousness. So that is the goal of the universe for us. It is the purpose of universe for us. And our only purpose is to go through all these experiences joyfully and gracefully. So I'm giving you this background because we need to understand what we are creating continuously, right? Now, how does a family constellation? So metaphysical therapies are basically, one of which is family constellation, but there are many of them. We have shadow work, we have inner child, we have past life regression, we have something that works with only your belief system. We have even energy can be a part of it, partially. So there are many types, maybe 100 plus types of metaphysical therapies. And what does metaphysical therapy means? So we are we are actually metaphysical beings. We are souls experiencing an experience through this body, which is the physical aspect of us. So we are three-dimensional beings, which means we have a mind, we have a body, and we have a soul. And if we want to have a graceful, joyful experience, even when we are going through the dance, then it means we have to have a harmonious relationship and a kind of co-creation between the soul, the mind, and the body. Now, what happens is when the mind takes over and does not allow the body and soul to be aligned, our challenges starts. And this usually happens, not usually, most of the time, it is as a result of a belief system or a conditioning or our ancestral, energy imprints that we are carrying in our DNA. It can be anything because we are a collective of all that we have ever been and all of that which the universe has ever been. In our galaxy, we have almost 330 trillion stars, right? And our sun is just one of the stars. You know what is amazing, Dr. Sandeep? We have 330 trillion cells in our body.
Yeah.
How can this be a coincidence?
Yes. Yeah.
Right? So it is through knowing the self that we can know the universe. Now, the other mistake we make, especially the ones who come into spirituality, is we want to understand everything outside of us. How the universe works, what does God do, what are angels, dimensions of beings, guides. No, we don't need all of that. We just need to know who we are. So metaphysical therapies are different kind or different body of work, I would call it, that will help you to know yourself. Basically, have a soul surgery. Dissect yourself cell by cell, maybe even nucleus of a cell, because that's where we store the memory. That's the photon, right? To be able to know who we are, what are the things that is actually blocking us, and what is the potential that we have, and what is the way forward. So basically, these are bodies of work which will help you know yourself better. Now coming to family constellation, and also, so family constellation, if you look it up online, it is a very mechanical process. If I want to do family constellation the way most people do and the way most people teach, it's a completely mechanical process. I have an issue, so it's a group therapy. It is very rarely an individual therapy. And individual therapy can happen only if the facilitator is really seasoned, because then the facilitator is continuously moving in and out of different roles and doing all the work, which let's say 10 to 15 people are supposed to do alone by herself or himself. Okay. So basically, this is a group therapy where a group of people come together and then everyone's challenge is picked up within the group. So it's an open eye therapy. Basically, usually in inner child therapy, shadow work, past life regression, or any form of energy healing, we ask the client to close the eyes and we take them through certain processes or progressive relaxation or induction technique in hypnosis and all of that, so that we can break through into their subconscious mind and make them witness their own subconscious mind. Whereas in family constellation, it's like it's, 10, 20, 30, 40, how many ever number of people. And a person is taken, whoever is challenged we want to resolve. And that person, either she or sometimes the facilitator, chooses. Let's say I am the client within the group and my issue is there is something, I have a family problem, right? I have some conflict with either a spouse or a brother or whoever. So then we pick up the person and all the people involved, and also sometimes a challenge. So people are actually basically doing a role play and everyone's eyes are open. But what is the beauty is, because the grid with the intention of the facilitator and also of course the clients and the participants has been created of solution and wanting to know the truth. And I should repeat this. Unless you're ready to see the truth, not your truth or my truth, not that 6 and 9 truth, but the ego-like point of view, the universe point of truth, no healing can take place, right? We can fool around, we can go and do sessions, but if we are not ready to see our truth, no healing can take place. So the role play happens, and now everyone is acting. Let's say it's a sibling issue. So my brother, someone is playing the role of my brother. It can be a male or female. Gender is not important, because at the soul level, we really don't, the gender doesn't really play a role as much. So someone is playing me, someone is playing the mother, someone is playing even my inner child, the person who was hurt and who got this trigger. So it's a role play. And then eventually we reach to the deepest, I would say, root cause of the issue. Now, when other facilitators I have seen, and also, actually, Dr. Sandeep, the interesting part is this is really my gift. I haven't formally been trained in it. Okay. And when I was told, I had a presence in my house I had a group meditation, and we were 19 of us doing a meditation in the evening. And I think it was a new moon meditation or something like that. At that time, I was staying in Sector 21, Chandigarh, and I used to have a lot of group meditations happening. And then I was sitting, and a friend of mine who was also clairvoyant, she was right opposite of me. And while we were meditating, there was a very interesting fragrance in the house. And since I was the host, I knew I haven't used any incense stick. I thought maybe a friend has just got up and done it. And I was wondering that how did they even find the incense stick? Because, I'm a very organized person. Everything has to be in its place, and so while the guided meditation finished, and then everyone was in that quiet silence space, I thought, let me find out what incense stick is this, because it was too good a fragrance. And I opened my eye, and there is no incense stick, and everyone else eyes are still closed. And suddenly my friend opens her eye, and then I see a very interesting presence. I actually see, because I'm clairvoyant. I saw and being from another dimension. We can call them angels, guides, whatever, masters. But I felt it was a master. Actually, I saw him standing in the middle of my house, and I could not see even the roof. So when I looked, it was a huge being. And I'm looking, and at this moment, I look down, and my friend is looking at me, and she's saying that even I can see and I can feel the smell. She's doing this to me. And I'm like, okay, so there has to be a message for me, because it was a very beautiful experience. And the fragrance actually stayed for a month or more, maybe 40 days. So then I was told, the message was that you will have to do family constellation, but you will take it to another level, and you will call it soul macrocosm drama. And honestly, my English, I come from Iran, so my English, even especially then, I'm talking now almost 10 years ago, wasn't that great. So I actually typed on Google after the session, what does macrocosm drama mean? Okay, so anyways, I understood.
Whenever I listen this, I am having goosebumps.
I know, I still get it. It's really interesting. So, and I really typed, what does macrocosm drama mean? So then I realized, basically we have a microcosm, which is us, the physical reality, and then we have a macrocosm, which is the soul level, the metaphysical. So I was already a past life regressionist, and I was already practicing more than 50, 60 types of energy healing modalities and all that. So it wasn't a big thing, but so then I again sat in meditation at night, whenever my own timing of meditation, or maybe early morning actually, at 3 something, I was woken up by the same being, and I have been told that, okay, now we will show you how you will do it. And while I was in meditation, they actually showed me, this is how you go, and this is how deep you go. And then they asked me, you announce a workshop. And obviously, I've never done it before. I had attended a few, but I found them quite so I don't know, it's my observing nature. I'm made by design by this. So whenever I attend a course, or I used to attend a course, I would always come back very dissatisfied. I would say there's something missing, something is incomplete. पूरा काम तो हुआ ही नहीं है, कुछ missing है. So I had attended a few, maybe two, three such family constellation workshops with really great teachers and masters. But I always came back and felt something was not okay, something was missing. And then I told them, so, those kind of teachers, I had a very old couple teacher in Canada. Now they're no more, may their soul rest in peace. I I was like, those people also, I felt I dissatisfied with their work, and how can I do anything? I'm not even close, because they had 40, 50 years of metaphysical therapy experience behind them. And I was just maybe 5, 6 years into this work, brand new, I would say, because 5, 6 years of studying is nothing. You are just not even started, I would say. You're still in preschool or kindergarten or something like that. And they said, you just follow instructions and remember, you are not the doer. You're just the channel. The work has to happen through you, but we are doing the work. So don't worry. So actually, I typed the whole thing for a class and for a workshop, and I actually announced it. So, anyways, and there was no looking back. Since then, I have done over 400 family constellation workshops, and usually anyone who attends it, they really know that something else is at play. I'm just the channel, and it seems to be my gift. Now, how does this work? Is that I always take it a little deeper. I don't stay with this scenario because our life is actually a result of a pattern. Our life is almost a pattern. If we have heard about the matrix, we know we are already in a pattern based and a pattern design matrix, and we are continuously recreating illusion after illusion. So I try to take it a little deeper and go back and understand what is the root cause of the issue. If I want to give you and it is extremely powerful. If I ever wanted to see how, when the source is at play, how compassionate and at the same time how firm and how to the point God can be when He's doing His work. That I actually witnessed during the soul microcosm drama, because a lot of time the source itself gets channeled. I don't know if some of my participants are here, they have actually experienced it. And when that channeling
So,
happens,
Sahar,
there's
if
a pin drop
if some
silence.
if some participant is there and he or she can share their experience, that will be amazing. If some
I
participant is
don't
right now
know.
in the group, you can write in the
I
chat
really
box.
don't know.
I
Yeah.
So that will be really really amazing to listen because this is something new. Even I have never
Yeah.
experienced how this
Oh,
works.
you've never seen? Okay.
No,
I really don't know. There are too many people.
no
I don't
problem
know
because
who.
someone will just in the chat box will write out. We can continue the session. If someone is there, they'll write in the
Okay.
chat box. I will
Yeah,
listen.
yeah. If
You
anyone
can.
of my students or clients who have done the work, please, yeah, please, if you can. I mean, some people have a problem with sharing also, right? It's too personal. But if someone can come ahead, come forward and share, it would be nice. Thank you. Um,
We can continue.
yeah. So now I want to tell you how this actually helps. So this is the body of the work because I am not formally really trained as such on this topic. It is very difficult for me to, logically explain. It is all experience and experiments, right? Not experiments. It's not because it's not me who is doing it. So it's the source doing it. So it can't be an experiment. It's an experience. And it can be any issue or challenge. We have dealt with, property that could not be sold. We have dealt with someone this was actually a very recent case. Um, a lady actually a student of mine contacted me for his cousin and said that my cousin is having some issues. Her husband, who serves the army, has been actually implicated in a false case, and he is now in jail for the last 3 years. And they're going through a lot of problems. And every time, there is a court hearing, either the judge is on leave, or the advocate does not turn up, or the judge is being changed. So, we are not even getting a chance to present our side of the story. And it is now 3 years. And sometimes how the judiciary works, it's really a slow process. And with a small child, it was becoming very difficult. And I said, okay, let us see, let her come to the workshop. And I came back from Germany. So basically, this was, or maybe before going to Germany, this was in May or end April this year. And she came, we did the constellation, we understood the root cause. And usually the root cause has nothing to do with the presenting situation. It's a completely different story. And I think when I was in silence for 3 weeks, about 10 days ago, she sent me a message and she said, my husband has been actually set free. He has been, heard, and now he's been also, declared innocent, and now he's actually back to work. So you see, this kind of cases can happen. We have had people with chronic illness, anything. It can be anything, but as I said, it is not really me doing anything. It is about the readiness of the client or the participant to be able to see the truth, and it can be any kind of work. We also have dealt with issues of, let's say, grief. Some people lose someone, but they can't really process grief. They can't really go through that process, and everything builds up, and then life never happens. So anything from a spiritual problem to actually a physical problem or even a situational problem can be resolved through this modality. Now, if anyone has question, I would rather take the questions and answers, because it's easier
So,
for me
sir,
to explain it like that.
so, sir, I have a question, and it can be insight also. That understanding the science of family constellation and soul macrocosm. That is it like that when the group of person is there and they are ready and they are willing, right? There is a coherence, electromagnetic kind of things are there. They are working together on the higher plane, and they're getting answers out of that because everyone is vibrating and they have the similar kind of coherence at that. Just to understand, maybe this can be some technical question for you. But if you want to answer
No,
this,
no.
that's how this work. How this
Yeah.
work then?
So actually before, so let's say the day I announce a work, this is how I work. I don't know how other facilitators work. As I said, I'm not formally trained on this. So the moment I announce a workshop, I'm actually guided that, okay, now you have to announce this workshop. And the moment I announce it, I start creating an energetic grid. And then I continuously have an intention of how, when, who can be there, and what is my intention, what is it that I wish to resolve. And then when the participants come together, of course, they have already had a soul contract that they will come together to help each other. And then because I have also created a grid,